I love The Walking Dead, so when I heard that The Walking Dead Destinies was hated by a decent portion of humanity, I knew I had to check it out, because sometimes bad games can be more fun than normal games. So I turned on the game, and my first warning sign was how there were 7 settings, and none of them so much as had one option to turn off subtitles. And by the way, this game doesn't have saves either. It runs solely on autosaves. But hold on, don't go kooky, cuckoo, berserker, mad nuts yet. Let's get into the game and see what it's all about. Okay, so they forgot to mention how Rick got shot. He's just in the hospital now. Until Rick finally takes some random pills he found, he can't walk normally. But define normal walking for Rick Grimes, because I don't think this is it. It's gonna be hard to sneak out of the hospital with a face like this. They'll think I need attention. But okay, I'll try. And by I'll try, I mean I'll just walk out of the zombie apocalypse.
There are too many here. I should try and make a roll when I'm crouched. Stay hidden, even when I need to move quick.
Apparently, after Rick left the hospital, we were told he was shot. No, not in that order. Just as the context of why he was in the hospital. Yes, that's right. In this game, they tell you half of the story through the Bond Shrift condensed font. At this point, why not just use Snap ITC? But now we meet one of my favorite Walking Dead characters, Morgan!
Hey, you!
And it's extremely uneventful. He doesn't even hit Rick on the head with a shovel. He just goes, "Hey guy! Were you aware there's an unpleasant outbreak of dead cannibalism in the recent area?" And Rick's like, "No, I didn't know." And Morgan's like, "Well, the more you know." So after finding Rick's iconic season 1 clothes just lying on a car, because I guess Shane thought it would be funny to just put that there, we are forced to do a tutorial and witness an upsetting dead walker. But don't worry. Sometime later, Rick has that iconic scene of riding into town on his horse. Except, there is no horse. It's just Rick and his legs. But he still gets overwhelmed anyway.
Let me... Oh, no! Feeling a little better now.
Having any level of issues? It's okay. At this point, dying in the game will just spawn you to your objective.
Surrounded! Let me go! Oh, no! Get out of here!
Not before long, though. Rick has his iconic tank scene.
Hey, you! Dumbass! Yeah, you in the tank. Cozy in there?
Who is this? Where are you? Can you see me?
Name's Glenn. There's no time for answers right now. Wait for my signal.
Okay, I'm gonna give this game a little bit of credit for having Tomizawa in it. He's one of my favorite Infinite Wealth characters.
Hey, sorry, but mind if I see that envelope again? I want to check the address.
However, all that credit got taken away once I discovered that if you do a wacky slip when walking on this board that's about the same width as Glenn, then you just can't get up. You're just stuck. Bits later, Glenn helps Rick, and Rick got out of the zombie situation with a notorious way to deal with zombies: a flashbang.
Why?
And I also decided to handcuff Merle to the top of a roof because he was being a bad dude. And with that, we move on to Shane's story. I see the times haven't treated you well, my friend. Guess what? Shane is actually happy in this game and it's freaking me out.
That's gonna be great! Hey, this'll come in handy. Bet Carl would like this place. Maybe we could catch some frogs.
Keep an eye out for the frogs because they're gonna be a recurring theme here. However, there's not a lot I can say for Shane's part aside from, he picked berries,
Jackpot!
had odd amounts of trouble lifting himself up.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, and there was that super cool jumping animation.
Okay.
And some more frogs.
Hurry on back, you promised Carl some frog catching.
And then Rick returns, and honestly, I can't take anything about this cutscene seriously.
Rick?
Dad! Dad!
Carl. Lori. Thank God.
Thought you were dead. Shane said.
Lori, we need to talk about...
No, Shane, we don't. From now on, my family is off limits to you.
This game does a great job of showing emotions, like the one that is called sorrow. Another thing that this game has is conflicts, so you can basically decide whose side you're going to take in the argument. It does nothing but give you points to level up characters. In this case, Daryl was upset that I left his brother on the roof.
Give me a break.
And speaking of Daryl, you can't prove to me that this is him. Another thing that is absolutely awful about this game is the fingers. Their fingers are as if their arms gave birth to other tiny arms. It's just wrong. It's just, all of them are the same exact size, aside from the thumb. And as far as textures go, the ones that are the best are the ones that are inside the character's head. But all that can wait. There's another group conflict. What's with the frogs? Anyways, Sophia gets lost again because she's stupid, and Rick has to go look for her. And as he's slaying every zombie ever, Shane asks if Rick is coming back. And when Rick says stand by, they show the ever-increasing tension growing between them, and a great display of sorrow once again from Shane when he says,
Copy that, boss.
We constantly see the high levels of threatening anger when these high-quality cutscenes persist.
He insisted on coming after you. Apple don't fall far from the tree, I guess.
What's that supposed to mean?
But what they didn't know was that as they continued to talk, Carl got shot.
Carl! Oh, no.
And of course, this brings us to Herschel, who actually sounds nothing at all like Herschel.
It was true before and it's true now. You never know what the new day will bring. When it comes to that little girl, I have to admit that I'm hoping for the best, but I'm fearing the worst.
Anyways, Maggie and Shane go on a run to get medical supplies for Carl, and I sacrificed Maggie. But don't worry, Glenn will be fine because they weren't married yet.
I can't believe this. I thought everyone would be okay. I really did.
I want us all to be safe.
Shane thought that right now was a good time to remember how he left Rick in the hospital, so you get to play a level about that, which is basically just walking into the hospital, seeing Rick, and then leaving him for dead and walking out, and getting eaten by the military. Because they left in eating noises even when people kill you. Making my way out was pretty easy, however, because I just walked out again.
Get the hell out of here. Ah, I'm still here!
What was that?
But you know what wasn't very easy? Keeping my sanity while the intense music from the previous mission never turned off.
Need me to go on a supply run? I'm ready. Anything I can do?
Also, remember when Glenn found out that the barn was full of walkers and he couldn't find the courage to tell everyone and it was eating him up until he finally admitted it? Well, this cutscene honestly made it awkward.
So... the barn's full of walkers.
That's it!
Shane, please close your mouth. I don't need to see your teeth, Shane. I don't need to see your teeth.
The right choice is the choice that keeps us alive. You want those things next to where Lori sleeps? It ain't hard, Rick. You can't just... I don't think you can keep them safe. If you all want to live, if you want to survive, you gotta fight for it.
Shane, if you want to live, you better take that thing off of your shirt. That could be a poisonous common wasp. You guys remember that famous point in The Walking Dead where T-Dog did a slide puzzle to get Shane the axe to open up the barn door? No? Well, it's happening. My favorite part of the TV show is when Shane started killing all the zombies in the barn and Rick was just protesting it behind the fence like, darn it! He's doing it again! That freaking goofy guy! Back at it again! Not long after, and when I say not long after, I mean a matter of minutes, there's a scene where Rick has to kill Shane, which was a beautifully constructed scene, so it was a little painful to see how it was changed into 4 PNG images. But this makes for the most interesting choice in the game, which is leaving Rick alive or Shane alive. Personally, I couldn't bear to think of killing Rick, considering I have a strong nostalgia and love for his character, so picking Rick to survive brings me to, well, killing Shane. But while doing so, Rick has memories of things Shane and his family have said to him, which, I mean, it seemed pretty odd that this was his memory of Shane.
Rick, check it out! I stole the principal's car!
Also, this fight just started losing any level of sense when Rick started jumping like Yoda and Shane got stuck behind the fence. Of course, after Rick kills Shane, he thinks Lori blames him for it. But, I mean, come on. He stole the principal's car.
I stole the principal's car!
After clearing out the prison and shooting a zombie in the butt,
I have the strength for big...
we ran into a man named Andrew, and I threw him out of the prison, and he vowed to come back for revenge.
I've made my decision. We took out those walkers. This prison is ours. We spilled blood. You need to find a new home.
This ain't over, bitch. You better watch your back. All of you.
No, what? How? What?
Next up, Daryl spoke for some reason.
Got lost in the woods once when I was a kid. 9 days. Made my way back. My old man was off on a bender with some waitress. Didn't even know I was gone. Asshole.
What?
Now, it's time for Herschel. He's looking for weapons. But of course, when he's leaving comes the scene when he got bit on the leg.
You alright? Herschel, hurry! Ah! Oh, help me! Only one way to keep you alive.
I think I've screamed more over literal spilled milk. Anyways, Andrew comes back and makes problems for Andrew Lincoln and starts an alarm that brings tons of zombies to the prison. So it's my job to turn off all the alarms. And Beth is there too for some reason. And she's gigantic! Like, Rick, why are you so tiny? Turns out when we got to Andrew, something kept killing Rick. That's right, it's the smoke in the room. Now I'm aware smoking's bad, but I mean, this is just taking it to a new level. Rick has to avoid zombies and fix gens like in Dead by Daylight while staying crouched just to not chain smoke. Now, considering the smoke is because of this guy, either he just has terrible BO or he smokes so much I'm not even gonna feel bad about killing him because he was gonna die like 2 seconds after leaving this building. When Rick gets back, he discovers that the baby was delivered, but Lori was delivered to heaven by Beth, thus making him oh no.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't.
That was not editing, it just cut off there.
I think my shoes are getting too tight.
Coral, your mom just died! I mean, at this point, you're even causing Herschel grief. I mean, look at him.
Give me a break.
I'm a little lazy, so I'm just gonna sum up this next part. Something, Daryl meets Michonne and gets kidnapped by the governor. Michonne tells Rick about how she once got kidnapped from the governor too, and she needed to hide in many bushes just to escape the governor. During her escape, she found that he had a daughter, and she had turned into a zombie and he was just keeping her.
No! Please, don't hurt my little girl.
But decided not to kill her. Turns out Merle killed her anyway.
No!
And then took Merle's eye instead of the governor. And somehow, all of this led to the most underwhelming and hilarious fight to the death between the governor and Daryl as a show put on by Merle.
You're just making things harder on yourself.
Rick then saves him and mistakes normal trucks for army trucks.
We need to take out those army trucks! Make sure they can't be used against us!
After saving Daryl, people started dying in the prison from a sickness, so Daryl had to clear out tons of zombies. This part was actually really difficult. No, not because it was really hard to do, because one of the zombies was misplaced.
Almost done here. How the hell did this happen? Some kind of disease.
Anyways, the time came when both Glenn and Michonne got kidnapped by Merle. And by the way, is nobody gonna be talking about how silly he looks with an eye patch? No? Well, I guess he must have heard me because 1 minute later, when I'm supposed to be making a decision, his eye patch just disappeared. The said question would determine who tries to talk down Merle. I chose Glenn, and it turned out that made Glenn die.
No! I'll grieve later.
Never mind that though. It was time to shoot the tank, because it has a health bar apparently. And then Daryl finishes it off with a grenade. That is literally not how fire works. For this next part, I ended up getting a glitch that made it so I couldn't take any damage at all, unless I healed. Then that killed me. So I got past that pretty easy and was rewarded with an animated cutscene. See, look at all that motion the knife made. And for the finale, we switch to Michonne, and she's sniping the zombies that are trying to get Rick while Daryl just stands there to the left, I guess, and after that everyone escaped and the credits roll without any sound whatsoever. But yeah, that was kind of The Walking Dead Destinies. So honestly, I wouldn't give it too much hate because the purpose in playing a game is to have fun. And for me, I definitely had fun with this game. However, this whole video is just my opinion, but it was still fun anyways. So with all that said, I'm gonna leave things here. So yeah, take care of yourselves, have a decent day, and stay determined. Out of the way.